Hey everyone, it's TB Shores. It is March the 8th, 2021. It's 11:31 p.m. We're going to pick up in this video. We're going to start talking about the temple of God and the dwelling in the temple of God. The Lord is showing me some things that's really astounding. It's really blowing my mind, and it's going to take some doing for me to get all this explained, but he's actually showing me connections of the building blocks. You remember what the building blocks are? That's I want to say it so bad. The building blocks of this body. And he's actually showing me this in the Word, a connection in the Scriptures, and it is amazing. There's a lot of going back and forth in different Scriptures and trying to get some external understandings of different things and how they apply in what is happening and going to happen. But this is going to be an interesting set of videos by the time I'm done. So I think you will be excited. I've been very excited with this because I never in my wildest dreams would have imagined the Lord would be showing me this kind of stuff in the Word. So we're going to start here at 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 16. And it says, "Know ye not that ye are the temple of God?" We want to establish that straight off. Scripture tells us that we are the temple of God and that the Spirit of God dwelleth in us. That's an important word right there. Dwell. It is going to be a word that connects many things as we continue to try to understand what God is showing. So what we want to take away from this is just understanding that we are the temple of God and that His Spirit dwells in us, okay? So next we're going to jump right here back to 2 Thessalonians, but we're going to look at this verse. Well, we're going to pick up at the latter part, verse 3. Because I had stopped off there and said we'd cover it in a different discussion, where it says, let me just read the whole verse. "Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he, as God, sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God." Now, there's a few things that the Lord's had stand out at me. Excuse me, I've got a little bit of sinus stuff going on. We're going to look at connections to, let's see, what was that? This exalting himself above all that is called God, and this part where it says, so that he, as God, sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. So, wow. All right, to get into some of this stuff, I'm feeling overwhelmed already. Let me see, what have I got pulled up here? We're going to look at this word, sitteth. It says, so that he, as God, sitteth in the temple. Now we're talking about the Antichrist here. Okay, so let's just simply look at this word sitteth. Because like I said, well, you'll see what I'm talking about here in a minute. Just bear with me just a minute. When we get down here to where, let's back up here. This is, we're going to let this.
Strong's G 2523. Cathedral.
Okay. That is the Strong's number, the word. And we're going to go down here and we're going to look at what it means and how to understand it. Okay. So when we look, the thing the Lord drew my attention to was this right here where it says to settle, hover, and dwell. It's all about making a place, okay? Making a place to dwell in. Just as we understand, God dwells within us. Satan is trying, remember, he always, so many things that he does is about mimicking or mocking the things of the Lord, okay? So here he is wanting to try to set himself up to be the one that dwells in the temple of God. And we jump back over here. Clearly we can see here it's about him sitting in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. And many take this to mean that is about the building of the temple in Jerusalem. And the Antichrist will sit there and rule from there. I'm not saying that that's not so. I'm not discrediting that. But what I'm saying is there's always a deeper understanding that God has to show us. And in this particular one, what he's showing is about Satan wanting to sit in this temple, this body, because we are the temple of God. So he wants to sit in our body that's the temple of God. And he wants to dwell there like he is God. And that's what all that's going on is about right now. Okay? It has to do with Satan trying to take control, I guess is a good way to put that. Just bear with me because of videos being took down, I'm stumbling with words because I'm trying to be careful not to say anything that would be an issue. So just bear with me. So we're looking at the Antichrist finding a way so he can sit in this temple of us as God does, okay? So we see that his sitting, this is talking about his dwelling, his hover or dwelling there. He's settling there. Let's see, what was I'm trying to figure out. Okay, that takes me to this video that I did in December. Now, I mentioned this early on, I think maybe in the first video of this series. I had this dream back December 9th of 2014. It is entitled Dream, Chaos, and V. Okay? Of course, you know why I'm saying that. So this is about, even back then, the Lord was warning about this, okay? At the time, I didn't fully understand what this was about, but If you haven't already watched it, go watch it. It speaks volumes, and that was before any of this ever began. So my point in bringing this up is the same time, the very same night that I had this dream, I fell back to sleep. I woke up and I fell back to sleep, and as I woke the next time, I heard very clearly, I heard Psalm 55. So now this is where things start getting really interesting. I'm going to tell you, this is beyond words. The things we're fixing to get into, not just where I'm going right now. The things that this is going to lead us to. Okay. So in Psalm 55, of course, I got up, I read it. I understood to some degree how it connected, but I had no idea until the Lord started this study how deeply this connected to this time of the stick, and how we can clearly see that within this, and how it even, just let me get into it. Let me just get into it. Okay. The first verse we're going to go to here is, bear with me here, these two things I want to point out. It's the same word, but how it's used differently. Okay. In Psalm 55, verse 11, we see the word wickedness in verse 11. This one means calamity and destruction. And the one in verse 15 means something entirely different. Now, to understand what verse 15 is saying, let's just go ahead and read it. It says, "Let death siege upon them, and let them go down quick into hell, for wickedness is in their dwellings and among them." Now, I have never understood this verse like, I've never seen in it what the Lord has shown me in it. It is amazing. This video is getting too long, so I'm going to have to cut it off and get into this in the next one. But this is showing about a dwelling in the temple. And I'll get into that in the next video, but I want to point out what's happening prior to that first. Let me just shut this off and then get right into the next video. Love y'all. Bye-bye.